Alright, if you've been following my Econoline videos, you know the plan is to create an off-road desert van. Next in line was going to be a regear to 456 gears to get my van back into the power band, and a Eaton e-locker so I could have more traction out in the desert, selectable locker. But the past month my van has been running like crap. Like, it ran worse when it was warmed up, but even when it was cold, like, it would run good at part throttle. Then anything more than like 25% throttle, it would really run bad, like it's not getting enough fuel. So the first thing I did was I put in a new fuel filter. The fuel filter looked original, but that didn't help much, if any. And then I said, okay, it's running worse when it's heated up. Maybe it's the O2 sensors. Change those, no improvement. So I went ahead and changed the plugs, the wires, the distributor cap, and this is what I found. All the plugs are good right here, except one. What the hell happened here? So that did it. Runs great now. The van runs really good now, but yeah, that definitely made it run like shit, and it got worse and worse. It got so bad at one point my top speed was like 45. That's when I parked it and said, okay, we gotta solve this problem now. So I went ahead and changed the plugs and wires, and it's running good now. So hopefully this was a temporary problem. Hopefully it's not going to happen again. I'm going to drive my van around for a couple months, and hopefully it just runs great again. If it doesn't, if this is a problem, if this keeps happening, I don't know, maybe it's time to swap in a 460. That would be fun. Why not? You know, I already gone this far with my van, might as well drop a 460 in it. Personally, I don't really care if it has a lot of power. I mean, the 5.0 is okay. It's, you know, could be better, but you know, it's a reliable motor. Even was still running even with this problem, so can't really complain. So hopefully I figured it out, and you know, if it keeps doing this, maybe it's time to drop in a 460, get more power. That just sounds good. 460 sounds better than 302, but we'll see. Hopefully it's solved. I already missed desert season, so now I'm gonna just drive it around, and hopefully the problem's solved. In a couple months the desert's gonna be like 100 degrees, like 115 in the summer, so now I gotta wait till October. But if it runs good for the next 2-3 months, then I'm gonna go ahead and get it re-geared and throw in the selectable locker. Then I'll be ready for desert season in October. That's when the weather's really nice. It's like 50, 60 in October. Then at night it's like 30 degrees, so it's awesome. So hopefully that's solved. When it comes to ignition, I go with factory. In this case, Motorcraft. My theory is this: the engineers spend a lot of time getting the ignition right. The ignition is one thing you can't get wrong. You got to meet emission standards, so I feel like the factory gets the ignition section, the ignition portion of a vehicle right. Yeah, you could add an intake, get it reprogrammed, get more power, but the reason why companies don't add an intake from the start and a free flow exhaust from the start is because not everyone wants a loud car. You know, most people like quiet, so you know, for the power hungry people, they want more power and don't mind the sound, don't mind a louder vehicle. But yeah, when it comes to ignition, I go factory. I've gone like aftermarket before when it comes to ignitions, and they always fail. Fail on me anyway. The vehicle doesn't seem to run as good with aftermarket ignition parts, so that's my theory on ignitions. I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know everything, but a friend of mine, he had a 6.0 Power Stroke in his F250, and he told me Ford turned down the boost on those. Not the best motors, doesn't have the best rep. I personally don't have any experience with them, so I don't want to bash on that motor, but a friend of mine told me he took it to Ford and they turned down the boost a couple PSI to help the reliability, and that's when it was in its warranty period. And it makes sense. Less power the vehicle makes, the longer it'll last. You know, I'm sure companies don't want to have too many warranty claims, so it makes sense. I remember the Evo, Mitsubishi Evo, I think they limited the revs to like 5,000. or something like that. You weren't allowed to bring it up to 7,000 anymore and dump the clutch from an idle, so that helped with the transmission. So, you know, I'm sure every vehicle is being held back a little bit. You know, they're conservatively tuned for warranty purposes, and that's, you know, what the tuners do. They find all that lost horsepower. But you know, point is, anyway, for me, they get ignition right. They have to. It's just one of those things they have to get right. Feel free to chime in when it comes to that. But yeah, you know, I like modding cars, but ignition, I stay factory. Alright, hopefully my van's running right now. Oh, and another story I remember reading before I wrap it up here. You know those Kodiaks? Remember Ironside? Kodiaks and Top Kicks, same thing. Remember Ironside from Transformers? Well, the Duramax over the years gotten more and more power. It's like started at 300 and 500 torque, then it went to like 350 and 600 torque. But the Duramax in the Top Kicks and the what is it called? The Kodiaks, they always stayed at 300 and 520 for durability purposes. So there you go. That tells you something right there. Lower horsepower may not be as fun, but it's more reliable. And yeah, that's why I don't mind the 5.0 in this thing. It's not the most powerful motor, but it's reliable. Don't want to try to extract too much crazy horsepower out of it. Maybe headers one day. Yeah, the re-gear definitely. But yeah, if it continues running like crap, like if that keeps happening, maybe it's time to drop in a 460. But if I solve the problem, if it runs right for the next few months, then I got it solved, and I could go ahead and put in the locker and re-gear it. Alright everyone, kick ass, be safe, and take it easy.